Hey everyone, today I want to talk about photography. I think this video is going to be useful to photographers and filmmakers alike who are sharing the same workflow as I do, or maybe are thinking about switching their workflow, but I have to say it is a little bit of an extreme case. Uh, what I mean by that is I've switched from digital to film when it comes to photography completely. And I'm going to outline my reasons as to why I did that in a second. But I want to start off with a little bit of a backstory. And the backstory goes to a high school me who did not have enough money for a digital photography camera. So I did shoot on cheap Pentax P30 cameras that were like 20 or 30 bucks for a body only. And we did make our own cameras, our own pinhole cameras, which you would make with a matchbox and some Coke can, discarded Coke can, and discarded Coke, and a couple of film reels. You just there's a whole thing about it. You have to read on the internet if you want to try it out. But we did that. Tough times. But when I went to college, I eventually saved up enough money to get a Canon 6D, which was, of course, a prosumer full frame DSLR camera, which I was very happy with. But what I found myself doing is found myself applying the same process to shooting digital as I did to film. I was very methodical, and I was very careful about composing every shot, which I guess is fine. But I did need a film camera because my Pentax P30 just fell apart. So I went into a used camera store. It was 8 years ago, and I bought this Nikon F3, which is my all-time favorite camera and the one I'll never ever sell. And I later bought the 24 millimeter 2.8 lens, and I have a 51.8 over here. It also has a periscopic viewfinder, which is like the one you'd find on a medium format camera. And when I went to a film academy, I needed something that could do better when it comes to cinematic stuff. And that was right about the time when I was graduating that the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K came out. So I traded my 6D for a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K camera, plus minus a couple of batteries in the cage, I think it was. And I still needed to buy a lot more stuff for it, and I eventually did, but I did not regret doing that. There wasn't regret in my mind when I did that. So at the time, I had an Olympus OMD 10 Mark III and a couple of vintage lenses in the original 14 to 42, I think it was. And a fellow cinematographer came by and said, like, hey, look, I have a Blackmagic 2.5K camera. Do you want to trade? And I couldn't believe it because he was trading it with a lens. And this is like, well, $1,000 at the least, right? And I only paid maybe like 600 for the 700 for an Olympus combo. So I was like, hell yeah! And I switched, and I did not regret it again. And I love the image that comes out of this camera. It's fantastic for the price. And yes, it's a little bit tough because it doesn't shoot well in low light, and it only does 30 frames per second, but it's a great camera. For anyone starting out in cinematography, I highly recommend these early Blackmagic cameras because they do have a different kind of image quality to the modern Blackmagic cameras. So, that's it. I completely switched my photography. And the last point I want to make is cost. And because for me, photography was always something of a happy place for me. I was always doing photography because it made me feel happy. It made me feel happy to go out, to look for a certain light, a certain situation, to like do the manual thing, like all my digital photography hybrid cameras were always on manual, and I love the manualness of taking photography, And we're talking about Fuji, which would be a system that I would buy. Next for photography is like, I'm pretty sure I'll buy a digital photography camera eventually, and I'll update you on that when I do. It is going to be a passion buy for the most part. Honestly, what my Olympus OMD 10 could do probably my phone could might as well have done. I'll be honest, I was not happy with my Olympus system. So there you have it. What is your workflow? Are you a hybrid shooter? Do you shoot film? Do you have a lightweight, instant photography camera, and do you do cinematography on the side? Like, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Because right now, for me, it's film and film. So let me know in the comments, and thanks so much for watching. I'll see you later.